Again, live. The sun is a little bit glaring behind me, but it will set soon. And I hope everyone's doing good, man. Remember to be thankful. I saw an accident today, uh, driving around, and destroy your day. It'll destroy months. Getting in an accident, car accident, is a bad thing. The people weren't, but it's just a pain in the ass to have to go through that. So my heart goes out to them. Star Pack on the live check in. What's up, Star Pack? How are you? Stay hydrated. Will do, Star Pack. That's always advice well taken, brother. Good to see you. Hope you're doing. Christian Morales, how are you? I'm doing good. Feel good. I feel thankful. How are you, Christian? Well, guys, I'm going to get into my structured topic, and as people join the live chat, you can leave a comment. You can ask about anything. We could talk about anything, but I want to flow right into my live session. And each live session, what I do is I pick something, a life lesson, or something I'm thinking about, or something I've been through, something that I want to share based off my experience in life, based on my perspective. Again, you should take a little bit from people you meet in life, and you should put your own twist on it and go from there. But what I want to talk about tonight is the keys to success. Success is a relative word, relative term, meaning success is not just defined by financial status or how much power you have. All those things could be part of the equation of life, certainly. But success is how I define success is building good habits in your life so that more good things can happen to you, including financial and excelling in life and everything else. So, again, what I'm talking about tonight are keys to successful habits, which will birth success in all areas of your life the more you apply them. You won't be perfect. I'm not perfect. We're all different. There's some aspect of life that you need luck. Some people are luckier than others. Look, all those things in life that you can't control, you can't focus on. You always have to understand that you have so much energy. Everyone has a certain amount of energy. You should only focus your energy based on the things you can control. And that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. So, based on the things you can control, here are some keys of success that I've learned in my journey. Number one, dependability. Be someone who others can depend on. Not who others can take advantage of, but that others can depend on. This person always shows up to work. They don't take a sick day every other week. When this person gives me their word, overall, we know we can depend on them. Again, this goes back to the principle of showing up. When you show up consistently, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You're still going to make mistakes. You don't have to really have quote unquote talent. What you have to have is tenacity. To show up every day consistently, that is a skill called tenacity. Do you need that no matter what walk of life you choose? You need that. Now, showing up every day at your job will get you a promotion. How? If you show up every day at your job for 2 years straight, I guarantee you other people you work with will quit. Other people you work with will leave the job because of maybe they have a health problem. Maybe they found a better job. Maybe they get fired. So just by you showing up every day for 2 years straight, I guarantee you you're going to get some type of promotion in most cases. Dependability, consistency. We're talking about building a habit of consistency. That habit applies not just to your career success, but to your physical success, your health. Go to the gym every day. Go to the gym 5 days a week. Not just for 3 months straight. Don't just go to the gym consistently because you want to get into a summer mode where you want to, look hot for the summer and fit into your bathing suit. Adopt a mindset of you want to be healthy. And so you want to build a successful habit of being consistent. That's tied into dependability, being consistent with your health. It doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. It doesn't mean you're going to have a six-pack. It doesn't mean people won't look hotter than you. What it means is you're going to be relatively healthy, and that's success as far as physical. If you go to the gym consistently for 4 days a week, every week, for an entire year, I guarantee you your physical health will be in an improved state, and you can mark that box success. Even if you went to the gym for 15, 20 minutes and you just moved shit around, you didn't talk, you didn't bullshit, you just did what you need to do 15, 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week for a consistent year, change your life. Change your life. Again, you may not be super sexy. We all have different body types. Not about that. Success is about building in this habit of dependability, which equals consistency. Another key to success: positivity. Being a pleasant experience for people. Now, look, some people just aren't going to like you. You can be Mr. Positive. You can love people. You could be, kiss everybody's butt. But being positive does not mean being a people pleaser. Why? Because when you're a people pleaser, you aren't authentic. You are not yourself. You're not being direct with people. You're pandering to people. You're trying to appease to people in order to get their approval. And people can sense that a mile away, even if they play the game with you. So being positive means that overall, you don't let your mind get stuck on a negative situation. Being positive means you don't engage in drama. Being positive means you don't engage in gossip. It doesn't mean like once in a while, look, take these principles as guiding themes. Don't get silly talk and a little bit of drama, a little bit of this. Look, it means don't engage in mindless other people that is no beneficial value to anyone. A positive person is not a people pleaser. A positive person is someone who overall focuses on solutions. A positive person is someone who overall mind and their energy gets stuck on that is what is unproductive. You don't allow your energy to get drained on the unproductive things that have no value. That's a positive person. Another key to success is work smarter, not harder. In the beginning of my career, when I started off in the construction field, I really wanted to make a good impression on the people I worked with. I was really thankful for the opportunity to have a job, and for me, that was a great paying job. I started at $12 an hour, and I was working minimum wage before I got into the construction gigs. I said, I'll take that $12 an hour. So I was working as an apprentice electrician, but the first couple of years, you're pretty much just a laborer. You do whatever the senior people want, whether it's get coffee or carry material. And on this one job, really all I was doing was carrying material for other workers. I was not doing anything technical. I really wasn't learning that much other than learning the material. And that's important. You need to know the materials as part of the foundational knowledge of anything in life. So what I was doing was basically a runner. It was a commercial building, commercial office building, and I don't know how many stories it was. Let's say 8 stories. It was an 8-story building, not a high rise, but it was an 8-story building. And at that time, it was finished. Construction was ongoing, so the elevators were not up and running yet. The only thing we had in order to get from floor to floor was the stairwell. So what the foreman did was he put the young people, the apprentices, in charge of getting the materials from the bottom floor and bringing them up to the workers on the different levels. So the materials that I was bringing up to the workers was this big thing called a rigid pipe. It was a 4-inch rigid pipe to certain workers on every level. And all the pipe was dropped off at the loading dock on the first level, and I had to bring it up to each floor. So this was like one of my first jobs. I was young. I was full of energy. I didn't know anything, but I was passionate, and I was ready I'm going to show them that I'm going to earn my keep. So I would take the pipe from the loading dock, put it on my shoulder, run up the stairs, drop it off at each level. I mean, I would go nonstop all the way to lunchtime, like an animal. And I was like, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to prove myself. And initially, people just let me go. And then this older guy saw me, like, after like doing this for like days on end, a week. He said, Sam, he goes, let me pull you aside. He goes, one is, I respect the fact that, you're obviously showing that you care about your job and you're trying to work hard. And he goes, everyone can see that. He goes, but I've been watching you now for almost a week, and what I can tell you is what you're doing is not good for you and for the company. And like, I was kind of like a little bit like offended, like, what are you talking about? I was like, he goes, again, and it's not easy to deal with criticism, especially when you're young. I mean, no matter what, even when you're old, it's tough. But this, I'm sharing, obviously it helped me because I'm sharing this lesson with you. I've taken with it throughout my life. He said, Sam, you're working hard, but you're not working smart. He goes, if you really think about it, how many people could we just hire that would just run up and down the staircase, and that's entire career, and we just keep hiring young people? He goes, you have to learn to work smarter, not harder. He goes, let me show you something. He goes, you're running up and down these stairwells. He goes, instead of just grabbing that pipe, running up and down the stairs and trying to do as many as possible, you're wasting a lot of energy and you're working hard, but you're inefficient. And that's causing you to be less effective. If you look at this stairwell, and if you, for 4 hours, you don't run up and down those pipes, you don't run up and down the staircase, you set up a pulley system from the top of the stairwell, you get all the pipes to the bottom of the stairwell, and you use this pulley system, and you can get just as many pipes, if not more, up and down these different floor levels. You can drop them off, you won't burn as much energy, and then you can use that energy to do something else. And he had to show me the whole way to do it, but after a while, he showed me a setup that I was able to deliver more pipe to each floor in less time after I have invested in using my brain and him helping me in how to do it. After I invested that initial time in setting it up, I was able to work with him and build a system that we delivered more pipe. I didn't work as hard, and then I was able to do other things and learn other things. And so on surface level, it looked like I wasn't working hard. And that's what I was afraid of. I'm not running up and down these stairs. They're not seeing me work hard. But what people who were actually smart and intelligent and people who are going to be in control, they're not just looking at who is running. They're looking at who is thinking. And if you're just thinking like a runner, you're going to be subject to that your entire life. But if you use your mind to really think about building a solution based on not just using raw energy, but putting some thought behind it, it'll serve you better in life. That's what it means to work smarter, not harder. And that's what I learned. Because I do see many people in life that aren't lazy. I mean, I think if you're lazy, you're screwed. The lazy person suffers. Sometimes being lazy can make you try to figure out how to do something without killing yourself. So I'll give that to all of us can be lazy, and sometimes in that manner. But I see some people I know that work very hard, but they also don't know how to step back and say, look, is there an easier way to do it? Because I think, like me, when I was young, they were scared to show people that they're not running around crazy, so people will think automatically, oh, this person isn't doing a lot of work. But when you run around like that and you're just trying to do everything to prove something to people, what you actually come across into people who are actually on a different mental level, you come across as a runner, as somebody who you're never going to go to other levels of success. Because when you are doing your job, you don't have to show that you're running up and down that staircase. You understand what I'm telling you? When you are effective in life, over time, people will know who you are. You don't need to prove by running up and down staircases, sweating, to show that you care. But it takes time and it takes thought to work smarter, not harder. The next key to success, and I'm going to get to the live comments, keep them coming in, but I wanted to try to get this off my mind. I wrote down some personal notes. Ties into that is don't just think like an electrician. So after I got done with my apprenticeship, and then after I got certain certifications, I started as a journeyman electrician, and eventually I got my license, I have my own business. After I went through that whole cycle of an electrician, starting from an apprentice to being a journeyman to owning my own business, what they call a master electrician, I then said, well, you know what? I really want to try to get into engineering. I had some credits for electrical engineering, but I didn't have a full degree. Um, and there was like an entry level of like a building engineer, which is a step above of just somebody who works with their hands. You also have to use your mind in different areas of planning and uh, maintaining equipment, etc. And so I got into this entry level position, and there was over time there was an opportunity to move up. And one of the bosses had took a liking to me, and he goes, and he pulled me in his room one day, and we were talking about some project, and I was telling him what I thought about it, and I was telling him strictly about the electrical part of the project. Now here he was the manager, okay, and I was like the, the uh, electrical building engineer guy. So when he was asking me about this whole project, I had all my notes. I was ready to go. I said, "All right, this is the electrical problem. You got to do this." And he slipped back. He said, "Sam," he goes, "You know I like you." He goes, "Why are you in my office and no one is? And we're talking about this project." He goes, "If I just want to know about the electrical part of it," he goes, "I'll send you an email." He goes, "You have to stop thinking like an electrician. You can't just think like an electrician and go to different levels in your career." He goes, "I like you. I want to bring you up and have you learn about different aspects of engineering, of management, of technology, industry, etc." He goes, "But if all your mindset is centered around being an electrician, you can't see the other aspects of everything this project encompasses. And if you can't see the other aspects that have to take place outside of the electrical, you can't go to the next level. You can't just think like an electrician." And I think that applies to anything you do in life. If you do hair, you can't just think like a person who does hair. You have to, especially like if you own your own salon. I mean, you have to think like, you have to have a customer service hat. You have to have an accounting hat on. You have to have, um, you have to have a retail mindset. You have to have advertiser mindset. You have to, you have to be all these different things. You have to think more. You can't just think about how you're going to do somebody's hair. You have to think about how do you market it? How do you do the accounting? How do you advertise? How do you create a pleasant experience? How do you manage your workers within that salon or that barber shop? You can't just think like a barber. You have to think like a business owner, like whoever, that mindset of whatever you do in life, a plumber, a hairdresser, or whatever. You can't just think like that. You have to think outside of what you do to put a perspective so you can envision bigger context. It doesn't mean you're going to be an expert in every other thing. That's why you need other people in life to go to a certain level. But you have to be able at least to have a mindset outside of what you just know, period. We're almost getting there now. The next key is persistence. Nothing in life definitely to business and career, but everything in life. Again, these are not just based around making money. These are based around successful habits. And as you practice successful habits, you're going to be overall more successful. Again, it's a relative term, but this is my life experience. Persistence. Nothing can beat the follow-up. Everything in life needs to be followed up on. Why? Because no one cares about what you care about more than you. And people are human. People forget. Why do people forget? Because people are thinking about their family life. People are thinking about their own bills. People are thinking about their own job. People are thinking about a mirage of other things throughout the course of the day. So if you're doing business with them, or if you need an email from them, or if you need something from them, whatever you need from them, you have to follow up with them. You have to stay on their mind in a pleasant way. in a pleasant way, but you have to follow up. Nothing gets done in life without a follow up. People will forget about you. I've shared this story in the past, but I remember at one time in my career, I was trying to get one of my friends a job. And I would go to these monthly meetings with some of the what they called business agents. And there was one top guy that I had formed a relationship with. And so every time I would see him, I would tell him about my friend. I was trying to get him a job. And so I went to him one meeting, and I hadn't seen him in a couple months. And I said, hey, I said his name. I said, hey, what's going on? And good, good, good. And I go, I just wanted to see, and I was going to ask him about my friend. And he goes, Sam, before you even stop, I know what you're going to ask me. And he goes, but you know what? I'm glad you asked me. He goes, but because before you came up to me and before you got back in my face, I don't remember. Don't take this the wrong way, Sam. He goes, but I don't remember what you asked me. He goes, I'm thinking about a million other things. And he goes, I tell you this because I think you're mature. He goes, you can't get offended when someone else forgets about your business. Because in life, people are going to forget about your business. And the only way you get things done is if you follow up. Don't get offended when people forget. Because people forget. You have to follow up, and you can't take that too serious. Job opportunities. You can't just submit a resume online, say, oh, I submitted 20 resumes this week, I'm done. What I recommend you do is if you submit a resume online, you Google search that company. You get their headquarters number, you call the headquarters, and you ask to speak to HR. That's human resources. You ask to speak to the human resource department, and then you try to get someone on the phone. You get their full name. You form a relationship with one specific person in human resources, and you follow up on the resume you submitted online. Because I can tell you right now, if you just submit a resume online and you don't put any follow-up behind that, overall, you're not going to build a successful habit. Again, we're using this example, but this is a habit, a successful habit of remembering that you have to follow up because people forget. You are not on top of people's minds. What's on top of people's mind is their own life burdens, not yours. And so follow up. Live below your means. Another key to success, which I talk about often. I mean, it's pretty much a staple of this channel. It's been a life-changing thing for me that I always kind of heard about, but I never really applied till recently in a consistent manner. Below your means gives you the freedom to take calculate, and it gives you the freedom to be yourself. When you are not in a place of financial freedom, you can't be yourself. When you can't be yourself, you cannot succeed to your fullest potential. Your success is directly tied into your ability to truly be yourself. And when I say truly be yourself, I'm not saying that you have the ability to go and tell everyone go fuck themselves. Now, sometimes I understand. Look, I do that. You have to be mature and understand what I'm saying here. So, because just as you have the ability to tell somebody to go F themselves, you should really never do that definitely not in your professional career. But, but there's a mindset there that when you have the freedom in your mind to be yourself and you're not scared to speak up, that's what I'm saying here. Now, you got to take me in context. When you're free and you're not scared to speak up, you will be noticed because most people are not free enough to speak up. And also, you're taking a risk. You can take a risk to be yourself, to speak up, to add your own ideas and perspective. And living below your means pays off in so many ways. But for this video, living below your means gives you that opportunity to be yourself without fear because you have a buffer of financial freedom. Final thing, and then I get to the live comments. I know it's a little bit long-winded tonight, but this was something I was really inspired by. I was watching other people on YouTube that have obtained a lot of success in life. In general speaking terms, success is a relative term. It's not just about being a millionaire. But I watch other stuff like that, and I find when I do watch other stuff like that, and I don't get caught up on garbage stuff, my mind is sharp. But you got to have a little bit of lightness, and you got to have a little bit of seriousness. But the end of the day, the last key to success I will tell you is mind, body, soul. It's always going to be that, because success, even if you become a millionaire, if you are not taking care of your mind, your body, and your soul, you're not successful, because you're not going to be happy with life. So the core, your core, is based on you taking care of yourself. In my sermon tonight, I'll take this hoodie off. I'm sweating my ass off. And then we'll get to the live comments. I hope this live video, I've been watching my replays the last couple of nights. The Wi-Fi has been real choppy, and the video playback like been cutting off. So when I'm in this area, for whatever reason, the service is suspect, and it doesn't come through good on the live replays. But let's get to some live comments. And thank you guys for leaving the live comments while I was blowing some hot air. But hopefully you enjoyed that and you got something out of it. Star Pack gave me the palm trees emoji. Star Pack, I got love for you, brother. Star Pack, good to see you. Hey, Sammy. Always good to see you, brother. I appreciate everyone who comes in here on a consistent basis. Like my man Chris says, I thank people for showing up. Dependability is a huge successful habit. Good to see you, brother. Love to you. Patience is the key. Shout out. He says, Star Pack, good. Oh, God, that was Star Pack. I read that already. Sorry, Patience. Susan, good evening to you, Sam, and company. Susan, good to see you. Christian Morales, I'm doing well, Sam. Thumbs up emoji. Good deal. Repeat, what's up, Sammy? What's up, Repeat, good to see you. Thank you for showing up. Meadow, hey, Sammy. Smiley face, and then wave emoji. Hey, Meadow. Now, it is, it's about 8 o'clock p.m. At night here in the eastern part of the United States of America. For the Philippines, it's 8 a.m. In the morning on Thursday. They're one day ahead of us. And looking at some business emails with people from that part of the world, and I had to remember, I had to Google search their time zone, because like I said, oh man, by the time I get in the office tomorrow, they're going to be at night. So it's like, you gotta be mindful of that. May West, Sam's in the house. Yes, good to see you, May. Sound John, hello. Hope all's well, doing well. It's positive and inspired here on the New Jersey coast. Forward we go. Palm tree, sail, anchor emoji, and then palm tree emoji. Yeah, it was a nice day today, guys. Beautiful day today here in New Jersey. I'm still up here, and probably in the 70s, low humidity, sunny. So it was nice today. Gilbert says, evening all, Sammy. Evening to you. Colin O'Reilly, awesome. Colin, good to see you. Thank you, brother. Israel, hey, Sam. What is up, my man? How are you doing? How is life? Yeah, Israel, overall good, positive, thankful. Thankful. Like I said, I saw a car accident today. What I do? I said, damn, I'm thankful. Because, when you go through a car accident, you got to, call the cops. You got to go through your insurance company. It's a pain in the ass. So my heart goes out to them. How are you doing, Israel? Gilbert, Star Pack, Patience, Repeat. Sailing John, what's up? Yep, that's what it is. Ricardo, what's up, Sam? How was your day, brother? Yeah, overall, it's a positive day. How was your day? Gilbert, all caps forward. That's what I'm talking about. Patience. Patience is the key. Hey, Gilbert. Patience is the key. Doing well. How you doing, Gilbert? Repeat. What up, Gilbert? Ricardo. So, Sam, I guess the temp job I had was over today. The big boss sent us home half a day and told us he liked our work and wanted us to apply for the company. What do you think? Well, I think that you should apply. I think you should apply, and then I think you should follow up. And then I think you should also apply to other jobs that are in your wheelhouse of what you're trying to do with your life, and you should follow up with those. And I think you should keep forward momentum. You do not get traction in life by collecting unemployment, sitting on your ass and waiting till you get the last unemployment check and then go out there with vigor and ambition. I've done that in life, and I could tell you that your best asset is staying moving. Keep moving. Keep a forward momentum in life. If you want to do it. Now, if you're miserable there, then you got to apply to other jobs. But, if it's something you see yourself keep doing, apply there, apply to other places, and follow up on both. You got to be persistent. Gilbert, I'm doing great. Patience is the key. Great to hear that, Gilbert. Forward. Milano. Sammy, been up early is an advantage. Well, I totally agree with that. The early bird catches the worm. Now, again, and when I say get up early, look, yeah, get up early. 7 a.m. should be the latest you get up on average. I try to get up by 5. Sometimes it's 6 a.m. This morning was 4:30. But right between 5 and 6 a.m. is my sweet spot. I try not to get later. I try not to get up later than 6 a.m. But what I can tell you is just you just feel better about life. When you wake up late, you feel like you're behind, and you are behind. The world is already turning. I mean, once you get up late, you get caught in rush hour. You're rushing around. I've been there. It's a vicious cycle. You stay up late, you eat junk, then you sleep poorly, then you wake up late, then you feel like you're behind all day. Then you stay up late, you eat junk, then you wake up late, then you're caught in rush hour, then you feel like you're behind all day, then you stay up late, then you eat junk, then you wake up late. It's a vicious cycle. And so it takes time. It took me time. It took me maturity. It took me years to recondition myself to be an early bird. And I think some of that comes with age, and I think we're meant to be night owls. But either way, that whole general principle is build a habit of good structure of a sleep cycle, of waking up at a certain time by getting your ass going, not day drifting into the day. Even for retirees, what do they do in retirement homes? They keep senior citizens on a schedule. Why? Because it's good for their mental health. Now look, some days you should just lollygag or whatever, but on average you should have a structured day where you're not just waking up doing whatever whenever. Because if you don't, that's how people have poor mental health. And I'm telling you, that's why when you go to like different places, they keep you on a structure. Barry J. Yo, Sam. Hand up emoji. Thank you, Barry. I'm going to start this week nervous but excited. Well, that's how I was. When I started living out of my car, I was nervous, excited, scared, embarrassed, all those feelings. Anything you do new in life, you got to expect those feelings. It's going to take about 6 to 8 months before you settle in. And 9 months before you determine if you want to do it long term. It's just like having a baby. You got to carry that thing 9 months before you birth a new lifestyle. But just like everything in life, you can't get overwhelmed by the task. You have to take it one step at a time. One step at a time. And that's how you go forward. Don't get ahead of yourself. One day at a time, one step at a time. And, you can do whatever you want. You can change your mind at any time, but give it time to settle in. Stefan. I didn't get to the gym today. That's okay. I mean, I don't get to the gym every day. I did get some important stuff done, though. There you go. We got to be productive. And again, when I say get to the gym, when I say be productive, it doesn't mean that you're trying to be Hercules. It doesn't mean that you're running around all day trying to get everything done today. I have to have a healthy, sustainable pace in life. You have to have rest days. You have to take breaks during the course of the day. It's not about being the sexiest person. It's not about being the most productive ever in history. It is about you having a well-structured life where, you don't go several days without going to the gym. You don't go all day without doing productive things. You have a list, a to-do list, so you structure your mind. It's a way of living that you create for yourself so that overall, on average, that you move forward. And that's what it's about. It's not, not about if you're going to fail. It's not about being perfect. It's about you're building a way of being so that in general speaking terms, even though you're going to fall and you're going to have problems, you're going to overall go forward and up because these are successful habits. And this is a way of living, not like a catchphrase or a catch video. This is a way of being. You know what I mean? Dazi says stuck in a hole, stuck in a K-hole. Well, I don't know exactly what that means, but I say if you're stuck in a hole, how do you get out? Go for a walk, wake up early, and every day, stay productive. When you're stuck, go for a walk, figure it out. Go for a walk, figure it out. Don't have a beer and try to figure it out. Don't have a cigarette and try to figure it out. Don't call your friend and try to figure it out. When don't buy a book that says 20 principles to success. When you're stuck, go for a walk. Clear your life of the unhealthy relationships, clear your life of the unhealthy habits, and that's how you get unstuck. Everything else is really a disservice to you, and it's a show, and it's somebody trying to sell you something. Stefan, eventually you will have too many viewers to read each comment live. It's all caps now. It's okay though, nothing but love. Thank you. I hope your channel grows and many get inspired. All caps. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that comment. Yeah, I just take it one step at a time. Stefan, it may get to that point where I can't read it, but I'm going to try to read it. And what I do every day in life is I just focus on what I can control, and I focus on the task in front of me. So right now, My goal is to, which I set as a goal 8 months ago or whatever it was, to go live at night once a day. As long as I'm not sick or as long as something doesn't come up in my life, I've done that. I've built a habit of that. And part of that habit is reading comments. Why? For me, it's not just like I want to connect and grow the channel. I mean, that's a added plus. But for me, as a single person, this platform serves as two purposes. One is it gives me opportunity to self-express. That's self-therapy. Every time you communicate your thoughts and you articulate, that's a digital journal. Successful people, on average, also keep a journal. This is a way of me journaling my thoughts. It's a way of me talking out my life. And this is also a platform that I form a connection with people. It's the type of connection I like. I don't like too many real life relationships where I have to deal with all the aggravations. This fulfills a need for me at the end of the day to have like a connection with people and to share my day and to share, them to share their day. And so I'll try to keep that going as long as possible. Thank you though, Steph. Chris, Gilbert, Chris, hey guy, forward, Gilbert. Nice, Carmelo. Keep us up on how things progress. Yes, Carmelo, keep us up. Keep us up to date on your journey. SI Project, Philly announced again. What's up, SI? Did you think about, I remember the question I asked you last night. I was thinking about you today. SI Project, if you're still in the chat room, what is something in life that you're passionate about? What's a life goal of yours? Give me any life goal that you have. I would like to know. Barry J, what's up, SI? Gilbert, I want to do the same, but I have a few issues right now. Some health, but once they are taken care of, I'll be out of there. Yep, well, health is your wealth. And let's say, for an example, I don't know your entire situation, Gilbert, but I know somewhat from speaking with you. Let's say, for example, that you can't fully go, if you wanted to be a nomad, you wanted to live on the road, you wanted to down. Let's say right now, you couldn't necessarily get in a car, get up and go. What you could do is start to declutter your life, okay? You can start to throw out things you don't need. You can start to adopt a minimalistic lifestyle. You could start to get rid of the unhealthy relationships, the clothes that you don't wear, the things that you don't use. Why? Because that's part of that successful habit, that way of living, that you are going to adopt a lifestyle of living on less materialistic things and focusing on more of your creative, inspiring things. That's part of what this lifestyle is for me. Not just about, living cheap. I mean, that's a part of it, but that's one part of it. So you have to, part of why I like this lifestyle for my mental health is I have less things, so I have less to worry about. I have better mental health for me. And I like that freedom that I have. It plays well for me. And I like that. Patience is the key. I have been living below my means for a few years, and it's an amazing blessing. Amen, patience. I mean, if you learn that at 25, if you learned at 25 years old to live below your means is a blessing, you're way ahead of the game. And stay that course. Don't get seduced into trying to impress a girl, a boy, or whoever. Don't get seduced in trying to prove yourself to anyone. People who live below their means have one trait. They're confident in who they are. I can tell you one trait that is tied into people who try to show off. They are insecure. They are insecure. Now, my eyes, I mean, I was once there. I was once in that insecure mode. Now my eyes have been fully open. When I go into a store and I see a girl with a designer Gucci bag, and when I see a guy who's all dressed up and he's got a nice car, one is I can't judge them because maybe that's what inspires them and that's what does it for them. So I can't make a blanket statement, but I can share with you in my mind, what do I think in my mind? This is an insecure person. On average, that's true. Not all the time, so I don't want to make a general statement, but on average, that's very true. Most insecure people have to try to prove to other people that they are successful, they're important, they have made it. And so, be mindful that living below your means basically means you're confident and you don't have to prove shit to anyone. I like that. Chris, as most of you know, I live with my mother. I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing. She had surgery this morning. Well, God bless her. And will be in the hospital for a few days. Thank you all for the heartfelt love and support. All caps forward. Go in peace. Well, Chris, thank you for sharing that, brother. I didn't know that. Let's put Chris's mother on our prayer list. I believe in prayer. I believe, even if you don't believe in prayer, think about positive thoughts for her. Think about Chris. Remember what life is all about. healthy, good relationships, loving your mom. Obviously, if you have been blessed with a good mom. What's my life experience with regards with dealing with the elderly and dealing with the sick? Yes, pray for them. Don't take on all that sadness. When you're with them, try to find light moments to laugh. Try to switch the subject away from their pain and think about something else positive. Not to detract from their situation, but if they're sad and scared, you can't be sad and scared, because then you got two people that are sad and scared. I share the story when I was in a car accident a day before my junior prom. My head went through the windshield, and may not be able to see it right now on the video cam, but I got a scar like right up here. My head cracked the windshield, and I had to get stitches. My eyebrow totally got wiped out. And I remember going to the hospital, and the ambulance took me. Overall, it was okay, but initially it was like scary. And so I was in the emergency room, and after they got me stabilized, they said, all right, well, who's your emergency contact? Give me your mother's name or whatever. And I said, no, don't call my mother. I said, I don't want my mom coming in the emergency room. And they said, why? I said, because she's going to be she's a mother. She's going to be all nervous, all worked up. Right now, I'm scared. I'm nervous. I don't need someone else coming in here with all that energy. It's going to be too overwhelming for me. So just don't call her. I mean, I think they had to call her because I think I wasn't 18 yet. They had to call her. But I think they told her that, and she kept it. She knew that she had to be easy, because I was already upset myself. So what I learned from that was a life lesson that when someone is in a vulnerable position, whether they're in the hospital, they're scared, they're sick, they're hurting, the last thing they need is for you to be scared and anxious for them. Just be at peace, try to bring laughter to the situation, and try to bring a calmness. Chris, hey Gilbert. Patience is the key. Hope everything goes well, Chris. Love and blessings to you, brother. Amen. Star Pack. It's okay if your speeches are long, Sammy. We're just listening. Thanks for that. I mean, that's the interesting dynamic about going live. Some nights when I watch the replay, I have a couple different emotions. One is if the replay doesn't come across clear, if the Wi-Fi signal isn't clear and it's choppy, it's hard to watch that because it's choppy. The other times I think, well, man, it came across too rough. People don't get it. And then sometimes I think about, oh man, it was too soft. It's never going to be perfect. So some nights when I'm feeling passionate, I'm going to give it to it raw. Some nights when I'm feeling calm, I'm going to give it to it calm. Some nights when I want to talk about MILFs, I'm going to talk about MILFs. Some nights when I want to talk about keys to success, I'm going to talk about that. I'm not going to do things based on how I feel other people perceive them. I remember watching a documentary on Bill Parcells. He was a famous football coach, one of the football coaches of all time. And in his first year as a coach of the New York Giants in the early 80s, he was almost fired because he was very unsuccessful. And in this documentary, he said he knew he was close to being fired. So this is what he told himself. That for the past couple years, he's been doing things, he's been coaching based on how other people perceive him and based on how other people think he should do it. So what he told himself going into what could have been his last season as the head coach was that if I get fired, I'm going to go out living it. I'm going to go out coaching how I want to coach. So if somebody doesn't like my YouTube channel, if I get a bunch of thumbs down, if I get a bunch of people have unsubscribed, I'm going to make videos based on myself and how I feel that at that moment and what I think I need to share for me. Doesn't mean you're going to win every game, but you can be a Hall of Fame coach. And that's what, look, at the end of the day, again, it always goes back to if what you're doing is not hurting anybody, you have to say, look, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out being myself. I'm not going to live somebody else's life to keep them happy. So, that's a dynamic you have to learn in life. And if you watch most successful people, they'll tell you that. Now, it doesn't mean you don't refine yourself as you go. If you watch my first few videos, you'll see that it's different than it is now. And I'm sure if my channel's around a year from now, it's going to be different than it is today. There's an evolution. There's a refining process that is constantly going on within us and never stops. But that refining process can never substitute you not being authentic or you being who someone else wants you to be. because that's how you lose yourself. A lot of times, and it almost happened to me, you go into church because you want to change your life, and the next thing you know, you're becoming the pastor. You shouldn't talk like your pastor. You should be yourself. And you know, you shouldn't get lost in you trying to, sometimes like when I used to watch the news media or something like that, there would be a famous news anchor. And when they were out and somebody else would fill in for them, their fill in would sound exactly like the person they were, like the star newscaster that had went out on vacation. The substitute would sound exactly like them because they've been sitting in, they've been watching them, and so they just regurgitate what they hear. They don't have any individuality. You guys watch this channel. You also know I'm against parents who call their kids mini-me's. Why? Because the last thing your child needs to think is that, you're supposed to be just like me. And most parents who call their children mini-me's, those parents hate their parents. So they don't want to be their mother, but they tell their daughter, you're my mini-me. But they don't want to follow in the footsteps of their mother, but they're telling their daughter, you're my mini-me. Your children need to build their confidence up to be their own selves. Now, I get a mini-me means like this child looks like me. I'm proud of my child. I want my child to know that they're part of me. I get that. But what I'm trying to tell you is to build a healthy habit, people need to be confident to be themselves, not to be anyone else, including their parents. You shouldn't want to be your parents. You should take the good from your parents. You should leave the bad thing from your parents, and you should put your own twist on life. That's how you go forward. Everything else is not. Chris, thank you, patience. Gilbert, my prayers are with you, Chris, and your mother. Chris, thank you, Gilbert. It's so nice to tune into Inspirational Nomad. Well, thank you, brother. And receive love and wisdom from everyone. Yeah, thank you guys, man, for that positivity. I mean, that's a testament to you guys. It's a blessing to come into somewhere positive. Thank you, everyone. Patria Olson. Really phenomenal advice. Thank you. So true. And it's give a lot of like points emoji. Thank you, Patria. I hope I say your name right. Thank you for two. You left a lot of positive comments the past couple days. I see them. I acknowledge them. Thumbs up to you. Thank you, Patria. Janice, 8:15 for me. Thank you, Janice. I appreciate you coming in. You listening to music today? Janice loves music. And thank you, Janice, for always coming in here. Hope you had a good day. Chris, the birds equal nature's alarm clock. That's true. Recently, I have been waking up to the birds. Now, last night I woke up to thunderstorms. That's what was in my area. Like 3 a.m. there was loud thunderstorms. But yeah, I do hear the birds chirping. Even like when I'm in urban areas, birds find their ways even in like little vegetation, and they chirp. And that's true. And that is a nice sound, Chris. Janice, can be up until 2 and still get 6 hours sleep. No, you can, but on average, I mean, there's exceptions to the rule, but on average, studies show that people who stay up past 11 a.m. have higher levels of obesity and health-related problems. Because the later you stay up, the more unhealthy food you eat, the less your body is active. Very few people are going for a walk at midnight and eating healthy food. Most people are up at 1 a.m. Eating cheese doodles, watching my replay, and living a sedative life. So, but if you're a night owl, there's nothing wrong with that, but you better structure yourself so that you're taking care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. Because what I can tell you is I've lived that life. I've lived a life of being up all night and having a bad sleep cycle. Or even if you get the 6 hours of sleep. Now, again, there's exceptions, so I can't speak to everybody, but what I can share is my life experience, is that when I stayed up to 2 o'clock at night, usually it's not good. Usually I eat the wrong thing, I do the wrong thing. Even now, like, it's still a battle. But the earlier I go to bed, the less junk food I eat. The earlier I wake up, the more productive I am on average. There's exceptions, but for me, that's what works. Now, if somebody else has a different testimony, I say praise the Lord. Ricardo, thanks for your advice. Most positive person I know, always got some good advice. Well, thank you. And again, I'm humble enough to know that I don't have it all. And so what I tell you is what I tell myself. Take whatever good you can take from me, listen to other people, and then ultimately listen to yourself. Because you have to take accountability for your life, and you just have a better mindset when you say, I can learn something from this guy, but I want to think for myself, and I'll take a little bit of his thing, I'll put my own twist on it, and I'll be me. That will build a mindset of self-confidence. And anyone who is really positive, their end game is not to get you to suck their dick or whatever. I hate to say that word, but sometimes I want to bring the message home. It's not to get you to Anyone who is really positive, their real goal is not to get you to kiss their ass. It's not to get you to buy their products. It's to get you believing in yourself. Because when you start to believe in yourself, then you start to build up a mindset of, you know what, I can do this. I'm still going to fail. I'm not perfect. I have to stay humble, but I'm not going to be timid. See, again, humility is you treating people right. You being timid is you. That means you're always going to just be a politically correct. You're going to play the game, but you really have no humility in you. You know, you're a false prophet. The scriptures even say God did not give us a spirit of fear and being timid, but of power, love, and self-discipline. So, you know, humble is one thing, but being timid is a bad thing. You don't want to be timid. You don't want to be arrogant. I mean, there's a fine line there. I understand that we all tread that. Sometimes we fail, but you know what I'm saying. Billy Jackson, love and respect to Tampa. Chug that drink already. Damn, I know. Even I'm getting winded. I'm sorry. That's another thing I'm still trying to refine. Like, I feel like I want to get it all out, but then I know I got to take breaks and drink. It's a balance. Like, you know, when you're either publicly speaking or whether you're doing a video. Thank you, Billy Jackson, for reminding me. I remember Eddie Murphy did that stand-up act. I think it was his first one, Delirious or Raw. And he's like, I'm going to take a water break. And he goes, I know, before everybody starts complaining, you didn't spend your money to watch me drink water. But I just remember saying something like that. He took the water break, and then he went right back into his routine. DT 2006. Hey, Sam. I liked your inspiration and upbeat message, as always. Thank you, DT 2006. I appreciate that encouragement. The encouragement means something to me because, look, when you do make videos, when you put yourself out there to the world, it's hard. You have to really be at a level of peace and confidence with yourself because anytime you use your creativity, you open yourself up not just to criticism from others, but mainly from criticism from yourself. And you have to be careful not to pick yourself apart because creativity is you expressing yourself without fear and without the mindset of you have to be perfect. You're never going to be perfect. If you wait until you have everything perfect and you say the perfect thing, you do the perfect thing, you'll never get anything done in life. You have to be willing to do things and be a little bit imperfect. That's part of going forward. Chris, because of injuries, age, I don't lift weights anymore. Well, that's wisdom because lifting weights can be dangerous. I hurt myself really bad at one time in my life, so that's wisdom. I do try push-ups, exercise bands, and some cardio. Well, that's wisdom. What I can tell you is no matter what age or whatever, as long as you can, the biggest thing you need to focus on every day is going for a walk. That's it. Nothing crazy, going for a walk. If you can, light weights, a light workout. But I totally agree with you, especially as you get older. I have to even be careful myself that lifting weights is very dangerous, or can be. And now I'm in a mode now where I lift weights because I like to try to turn some of that extra calorie intake into muscle. Because now, after losing 200 pounds, I got real skinny. I was scared to eat anything. But I knew that wasn't going to be sustainable long term. But I wanted to keep all that weight off for a period of time, so I knew I broke certain habits. So within the past 18 months, I allowed myself to put on 35, 40 pounds and get it back up to around the 200 range. And because I was all the way down to 150. And I was at 350 pounds, my max. And so what I can tell you is, so I'm eating still plant-based diet, still all healthy food, but I'm eating more than 2,000 calories per day. So when I work out, it helps me to turn that extra calorie intake, the extra pounds, into a level of muscle. Because my body type is if I'm 150 pounds, my face looks real lean. I mean, I got like a nice slender look, but my arms are real frail, and I just look flat. When I overeat a little bit, when I'm moderately overweight, which I would be technically considered now, 215 pounds at about 6 foot tall, my arms look good and feel good, and my shoulders, but I'm a little bit wider. So like it's a trade-off. But my main focus is focused around being healthy and building a sustainable lifestyle that I build long term. Because it's not just about losing weight, it's about keeping it off for the long term. And that takes sustainable, successful habits, not just a diet plan, not just a detox. I mean, it takes a whole way of looking at life and a whole way of looking at food and a whole way of looking at walking and mental health, everything. And out of everything else in life, my final key to success was, like I told you, mind, body, and soul. Out of everything, I have to keep myself in a healthy space because everything revolves around that. Susan, tonight's thoughts are some of the best I've heard. Well, thank you. That means a lot. Thank you, Chris. Bless you. Amen. Thank you, Susan. That means a lot to me because, again, it's a little bit scary sharing yourself. Basically, what I do on this channel, man, is I just share my soul. Sometimes I talk about fun stuff. Sometimes we get silly. Sometimes I get serious. Sometimes I get intense. But all of this is my soul. I mean, it's not a show per se. Even though it's a show, it's not like I'm trying to orchestrate something. And, that can be a little bit scary. Stefan, Dozy, is that a NAF reference? I don't know what that means. If not, be doing that nasty drug. Sam, a K-hole is when you do too much cat tranquilizer. I never heard of that. And become incapacitated. It was big in the late 90s. I never heard of that. That's interesting. Not so much nowadays. Well, Stefan, thank you. You taught me something. I didn't know that. Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I know people that done hard drugs. I know people that were self-medicating through prescription drugs. Of course, I know alcoholics. Yeah, I mean, look, life is hard mentally. Really, when you do drugs, your mind can't deal with the stresses of life, so you need to self-medicate, whether it's alcohol, food, prescription drugs, whatever. That's why I tell you the most important key to success is taking care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. Everything revolves around that. So if you're not happy with yourself, or if you're stressed out, or if you're not living well, you have to self-medicate. There's exceptions and there's different reasons for different things, but on average, this is what I've seen in my own life. Chris, thank you, Susan. Sam is really spreading the wisdom tonight. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Thank you, Chris and Susan. Gilbert, that is exactly what I'm doing, Sammy. You are in my head. I am knocking down the walls of clutter right now. Damn, Sammy. You are all caps good. Thanks, Ed. No one is truly good, but I thank you for the compliment. Stefan, Carmelo, I have a few videos on my channel that may help you out. I'm doing videos daily now. Good. Stay consistently. Be dependable. Now trying to share my experience and knowledge living in a different lifestyle. Good job, Stefan. Keep going. Being consistent, brother. Ricardo, God bless you, Chris, and your mom. Yes. Prayers be with you. Yes. Good job. Thank you, Ricardo. Love and respect, man. Stefan, Sam, I shouted you out in one of my first videos or second video because you inspired me. Well, thank you. I'll check it out. To get rid of my books and a few other things I was needlessly holding on to. Thank you, Stefan. Yeah, I had, when I had my house, I had bookshelves, and it took me a while to throw them out. I collected books at one point. It's hard to throw stuff out, but it's freeing once you do it. The problem is you have to get from wanting to throw them out to throwing them out, and then once you taste that freedom, you won't want to go back. But you have to get to that freedom. You have to get there. Throw it out. When in doubt, throw it out. Chris, thank you, Ricardo. All of you are so kind here. Mom did send me a text tonight. That's what I'm talking about. And she signed off with forward. Yes! That made my night. It was very inspirational. Chris, that made my night, man. Thumbs up, Chris. Thank you, brother. Love and respect, man. That's awesome. Salem John. You have to get out of your comfort zone. That's a good successful principle. And be scared to move towards your inspiration the only way. Salem John, totally agree. Thumbs up to you. Palm tree emoji to you. Yes. There are certain points of the journey where you have to leave your comfortable surroundings. You have to leave your comfortable job that you know and you got everything figured out. You have to leave your comfortable house. You have to leave your comfortable relationship. There's certain points in order to grow, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to undock your boat and you have to sail out. If you don't, you will never experience new lands. And the only way you grow is if you experience new lands. It's scary. Forward anyway. Forward, forward, forward. Definitely. Chris, Sam John says, prayers to you, Chris. Prayer emoji. Good job, Sam John. Robert, a.k.a. Traveling Van. Good to hear your mother is doing better, Chris. Yes, it's a blessing to hear that. Traveling Van says, I understand completely. I'm looking after my mother too. Yeah, I think once you get into your 40s and 50s, then your parents start to get sick and elderly. On average, there's exceptions, but when you are in your 40s and in your 50s, that's when your parents begin to get to at the age that they need care. Now, certainly you're going to sometimes, I think in many times, may have to hire professionals to assist, because I do believe from what I've seen in life and somewhat have experienced, not fully in some ways, but when you don't have um when you don't have healthy boundaries, and when you have to be a caretaker and a son and a daughter, you're going to and you're working a full-time job, you're going to be burnt out and you're not going to be a good caretaker. Sometimes you have to hire a professional caretaker because they're here to do a job. They're going to spend their 8 hours or whatever cleaning them up, doing whatever, and then they're going to leave, and then you can come in and you can be the son, the daughter, and then you can give your parent what they need, which is love, time, and affection. I had recently visited one elderly woman who her husband is very elderly and he's senile. And they fight like cats and dogs. Why? Because she refuses to get a caretaker, but the house is in such an unhealthy state. You can feel the tension as soon as you walk in. Why is there tension? Because she is being a caretaker, she's being a house cleaner, she's being a nurse, she's being a doctor, she's being all these different things, and all this man really needs is a wife. Hire a caretaker. Because when you don't, what's going to happen is your spouse or whoever, they're going to die, and then you're going to feel guilty because you're not going to think about anything but other of how bitter it was at the end. And when someone is sick, there's going to be some bad moments. You're going to feel helpless. You are going to be a little bit short with them sometimes. You're going to feel guilty. A caretaker is one of the hardest jobs in this world, in my opinion. And we all fail, myself included. Best to supplement the caretaking responsibilities and get assistance. Still be there, still care for them, but you need help in order for the environment to be healthy. Never forget that. Stefan, Chris, cardio is more important anyway. Lifting for vanity, cardio is for life. Well, I totally agree with that. Like I say, walking, try to get your blood pressure up as much as you can, but just walk. Running can be bad for your knees. Cardio can be bad for your knees if you're running. So muscle mass is good, but it can be very unhealthy if you try to hurt yourself lifting and if you don't change your diet. I hurt myself lifting weights by pinching a nerve in my chest because I was trying to get in shape, but I didn't change my diet. If you want to be healthy, the number one way to be healthy is change your diet. That's it. You have to, adopt either a plant-based diet or you have to eat a lot less shit, period. Working out is only 10 to 20% of your health and well-being. 80 to 90% of your health and well-being is what you eat. I don't care if you run a marathon every day. If you eat Chick-fil-A every night, you're going to be fucked. You cannot outrun a bad diet. You cannot work out a bad diet. You have to eat right, period. I lost 200 pounds without even going to the gym. I just changed my diet and I walked every day. So I got the evidence to prove it. Janice, I need to stay up late to be in sync with the nightlife that I lead. Well, I'm not mad at that. Again, there's exceptions. I'm just sharing my perspective, but I certainly acknowledge that there's exceptions. And I also want to acknowledge that, look, at the end of the day, you should always do what's best for you and what's inspiring to you. Don't just listen to me blindly. So I agree with that, Janice. Do you? Chris, ask Alan John. Robert and Steph, thanks, guys. Hope your mom is well, Robert. Steph, you're right. I used to be a big dude, but all size goes away eventually. Glad to be healthy. Amen. That's what it's all about, health. Especially as you get older. I mean, when you get older, the biggest thing you have going in your favor is you're not immature, hopefully, to the point where you're trying to impress people and show off. You're at the point where you just want to be happy with yourself. You want to be at peace. You want to feel healthy. That's it. When I was young, it's like everyone else, immature. I wanted to show off. I wanted to make people be impressed by me. When you get to a certain age, the only thing that matters is you taking care of yourself well, you being happy with yourself, and that's it. That's it. Robert, just a couple of shackles left to break, then I'm off like a horse, darting out of this starting gate. Traveler man, amen. Forward. I'll see you down in the 772, brother. Jesse, good to see you. Hey, Sammy, did you read private message via YouTube? I read a few of them. I checked, I think yesterday, the day before, I'd responded to every private message. So I do read them. I don't get an alert on my phone, but I respond to everyone. So as of 2 days ago, I was caught up on all my private messages that I was sent to me because I try to reply to every comment, every message, etc. And just about, I would say 90 to 95% I do. Chris, giddy up, Robert. That's what I'm talking about. Robert, aka Travel Man. I'm going to carve a path, all caps, from everyone else for everyone else. I'm not mad at that. Robert, thank you, Chris. Smiley face emoji. Chris, anytime. Awesome saying, Robert. Oh, I love Sound John. Yo, here it goes. Here's the scripture. Proverbs 27, verse 17. Chris says, iron sharpens iron. Yes, that was one of my favorite biblical scriptures. Still is. Proverbs 27, chapter 27, verse 17. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Take that in context. What that basically means is, we make each other better through sharing, through building together. Totally agree with you. Good job. You can do it, brother. All caps forward. That's what I'm talking about. Patricia, prayers for Chris's mom. Prayer emoji. Amen. I believe in the power of prayer. Seen it work. Chris, thank you, Patria. Amen. Robert, aka Travel Man. Thank you for the inspiration tonight, Sammy. Thank you, Travel Man. You know you're my guy. I needed it. We need you, brother. We appreciate you showing up. And thank you for all being supportive and understanding. We with you, brother. It is acknowledged and appreciated. Smiley. I love that smiley face. Forward. And thumbs up emoji. Traveler Man, give me the palm tree emoji, please. Very important. Del Barco. Hey, Sam. I finally made it to Florida. Praise the Lord, the promised land. St. Augustine, great area. To be exact, love that area. Hang out at the beach all day. That's what I'm talking about. Then he gave me the beach emoji. And I'm ending my night with a workout at Planet Fitness. Just wanted to thank you for the inspirational message and wisdom. Brother, I am so happy for you. I love to see people living their dreams. You can make it to Florida, wherever your Florida is. You can do things that get your blood flowing again in life. Thank you, brother, for sharing that. Good job, Del Barco. Enjoy, man. And save some of those mills for me, because I'll be down there very soon. Del Barco, and will forever be blessed with the truth you speak. Thank you. Don't put me on a pedestal, but thank you, thank you. Please, don't ever stop. I love myself. Amen. Thank you. Del Barco, I appreciate that. Thumbs up to you. DT 2006. Forward, all caps, all we go. That's right. Sound John. You're on it, Robert. Turn the page, then go forward. Sound John speaking out wisdom. Good job, Sound John. Turn the page, one step at a time. Every time you get a sad thought, let go immediately. Let go immediately. Forward we go. We've all failed. We've all made mistakes. We all can self-criticize. We have to go forward. And I want everyone to go forward, including me. Let's go. Chris, at the Barco. Awesome. Isn't that awesome? Yes. And if you get a chance, check out New Samara Beach. I don't think I've ever been there. 20 minutes of south of Daytona. Well, I must have been there because I've been up and down the East Coast. I never heard that, though. Peace. That's what I'm talking about, Chris. Robert, Sound John, give me the palm tree emoji. Thumbs up. Thank you. Make me feel home again. I miss my palm trees, guys. I saw some fake palm trees on the Jersey Shore last weekend. Was I impressed? No. I love Jersey, but I love Florida. I mean, Florida's for me. And I miss my palm trees. I miss palm trees in front of Starbucks. I miss my Spanish music down in Southeast Florida. Man, I love Florida, man. I can't wait to get back down there, man. Damn. Del Barco, Chris. Thanks for the tip. I will check it out soon. Guys, thank you. Girls, everyone. I gave it all I got tonight. I try to give it all I got every night. Some days I'm good. Some days I'm not so good. But I try to give my all. And that's all I want you to do with your life. Give it your all. If you fall, and you will fall, get back up. Have compassion on yourself. And Brizzy, shout out to you, brother. And all caps forward.